What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, bringing you a crossover event between Movie Monday and Anime Monday, because Kevin and I saw the
It's Tuesday, by the way.
Demons. Well, when this gets released,
It may be on a Monday,
you never
but it
know,
also
man.
might be on
you
a
just
Tuesday.
never know. We can't be chained down to some single event here. But we saw the Demon Slayer movie, which
No. We saw Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie, Mugen Train.
the Demon
That's
Slayer
the full
movie.
title.
These people are demons. How do I not put this? I actually did put a reference to that in the first Anime Monday that we talked about this, because I like to put a little clips in there.
What do I do, Lord?
Destroy the child. Corrupt them all.
This is their plan, people. These are demons.
But anyways, we saw the movie. I think it's the highest grossing movie of all time in Japan, like pretty darn popular.
It's numero uno. It beat Spirited Away, man.
Yeah, and if you guys thought, because we talked about this, we were like, wow, we don't want anime movies to be filler anymore. Like, we want them to have their place in the show to maybe either continue where it left off or tell this important story that is carried over into the next season.
Demon Slayer said, "You got it, buddy."
He said, "You remember the end of season 1? Well, here's moments later." So this movie is
Literally, it was last time on Demon Slayer, and now we're picking up immediately where season 1 of the anime leaves
This actually
off.
this is very interesting because we don't know what the next season is going to be like. Obviously, do you think they'll go the Dragon Ball Super route where they redo these episodes and it's like the same thing?
Oh, that would be annoying if they did, man. I don't think there's any reason to actually go and do that.
Super
Especially
didn't have
because
any
when
reason to do that
you go
either.
and watch the movie, it literally just feels like you're watching. It's like 2 hours long. It feels like you're watching 4 episodes of the anime. You know, so you really don't need to. You really don't need to.
Money.
I don't know.
You can stretch out
It
the
would
series
feel
on-
like a waste of time. It would feel
it would
like
be an
waste.
absolute waste of
You
time.
would essentially waste a month of everyone's lives watching those
I'm
episodes.
sure what I'm showing on the screen right now for our YouTube watchers, and you can also listen to this on all the podcasting networks, obviously under Blue Milk Boys. But that picture of Goku and Beerus fighting, where his hand is like deformed.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, exactly.
Not that we would
Why
get that with
you-
Demon Slayer, but I'm saying obviously it's just not a good idea.
That's what I'm
to
saying.
redo
Like, why go
so-
back and rehash it, man? It's like everyone loves the movie. Like, you and I love the movie. It was really good. There's no real reason to go back over it. I don't think you're going to be missing anything.
No, I don't think so either.
Or I don't think there's much to add. Like, what can you really add to that? You know, you can obviously add like little character nuances and stuff like that. But
yeah, maybe the longer
you can make some of the
storylines when they're inside their own
like
dreams.
that kind of stuff. You
Dream. I can't, that song is stuck in my head now. Stupid Shark Boy and Lava Girl, man.
Keep it up, Shark Boy. Just relax, lay about, or my fist will put you out. Dream, 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 dream.
And
It's just randomly that's where you had Taylor Lautner on the brain today.
well, because you were talking about your dreams earlier this morning, and that's what really started the connection.
I gave Spencer a premonition. I won't speak on it publicly until it comes true, but I definitely gave
Kevin
him a
might have
premonition today.
a quirk or whatever they call him.
But all right, so the Demon Slayer movie. What were your expectations going in?
I don't know. I didn't know what it was going to be. Like, the thing with anime movies that it seems to be like the main purpose of having anime movies, at least to this point
Money.
in existence. Money, yes. But they like to do these ridiculous moments, right? These fan
Servicey, yeah.
Yeah, like you talk about Dragon Ball Super, you get Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta.
My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia, Bakugo gets One for All, and that's like the whole point of
Yeah.
it. There isn't that much of that in the Demon Slayer movie. You have your moments, right, where spoilers too, by the way. I don't really care. I will never do a video about something assuming you guys haven't watched it. Should you see it? Yep, go fucking see it. Like, that's how, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah,
I'm not-
man. Like we
don't wanna
told
spend
you,
the
we
time
told you at the
dancing
beginning of the we told you at the beginning of the video, man. It was really good. Go watch it. Like,
yeah, then come back here and talk about it. That's how I feel about it. But you see that with Tanjiro and Inosuke, where they team up together to fight the big villain. But I think it actually is kind of a commentary and like, hey, we don't have like that's doesn't the point of the movie, because afterwards I thought the movie was over. It was like, wow, they teamed up and defeated the train.
it's like
villain.
it's like a wrestling match, man. You got to hit your spots. Like
Yeah.
usually for the anime movies, you got your spots to hit.
and they, yeah.
But when we watched this, it was literally just like, okay, here's episode 27 of Demon Slayer. Pretty much, that's how it felt.
Yeah, I think actually they did a great part. The best part about the movie is that Tanjiro doesn't go Super Saiyan, or like he still sucks.
He's kind of just like
talented, but in the grand scheme of the show, he sucks, and I think that's really good.
He doesn't really kind of do anything that would be out of character for what we already have seen from him. You know,
His power scaling.
He doesn't get like, you know, we talk
Tanjiro
about power
doesn't-
scaling a lot. Like, Spencer and I have talked about power scaling a lot and pooed on, you know, the idea of power scaling dominating a story. But I feel like when it's done right, it helps. You know, it helps your story become more airtight. You know, it's easier to follow, and you know the stuff becomes, you know, the action has a lot. It raises the stakes, in my opinion. So I don't think that it when you don't have, you know, good power scaling or whatever, that's even, you know, whatever we would even define that as. I don't think that if you're lacking that, I don't think that makes your anime automatically bad. But I think if you do it well, if you power scale well, it will definitely help.
Yeah, because you have the fire dude. I can't think of his name. What is it?
Rengoku.
Yeah, Rengoku, who
goat.
clearly is like this really powerful character. But I think if those characters were so powerful, this whole demon thing would be solved like a long time ago. You know?
Yeah, they're doing a really good job. Demon Slayer as the series overall, I think they're doing a really good job managing like the power creep. Jujutsu is like something like
These demons have
Jujutsu
been around
and
for
Jujutsu,
thousands
yeah.
of years for a good reason.
Jujutsu and Demon Slayer, I think, are very similar in kind of structure and stuff like that, and kind of, you know, obviously the characters are really different, but Jujutsu is already having like a really big creep problem because Gojo in Jujutsu Kaisen is dumb overpowered. It's like
Yeah,
ridiculous.
It's like it doesn't make sense to okay. It's like, why hasn't this guy been in the front line?
Exactly.
Ended
It's just
the
like, why is
conflict
he not
already?
actively ending all of these conflicts? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's no way they can step to him. And so it's the opposite with Demon Slayer, and that Tanjiro, the skill set is very clearly defined, and we can kind of
They
see where. And it's like the demons are, and even then the demons are still very clearly. It's very clear to us that they're still way above.
The Demon Slayers
The
are
Demon
containing
Slayers.
the problem, and they're doing their best to end the conflict. But
But
they,
the demons
they don't have the
themselves-
resources to do that as of right now.
Yeah, they're definitely at a
Yeah,
disadvantage.
like Demon
right now.
number 3. So he is still a very
the
powerful
lower third
character.
or the upper third guy.
Right. I'm assuming it's ranked. Like, it's not like, oh, the top 5. Like, you guys are just kind of the 5 strongest.
It's just
I'm
I just
assuming
think
he's
about
like,
everything
I
as
see you as
the.
number 3. Right?
I just think of everything as the Akatsuki, man. It's just like you're high up in the Akatsuki.
And this is, we talked about this for the show, and I'll talk about this briefly now. So he's number 3. So there's clearly a number 2. So there's probably someone a little more powerful than he. Is number 1 the main villain, or is there a number 1 in the Demon Corps, or whatever they call themselves?
So the guy who appeared to be like the main antagonist for the first season, I don't think he's the first. He's like the head honcho. I don't think we've met the full head honcho yet.
No, we for sure have. Like, that guy is.
You think he's
Dude,
running the
whole
game?
show is about that guy.
You think he's running the
like,
MF
he's clearly
game?
not human, this guy.
He's
Like,
a demon.
He is the main demon. He gives everybody the demon powers. Like, every demon, I think, spawns from him. And this guy's been around for centuries.
Interesting.
This
is the Muzan fella.
Muzan, yeah. You
Yeah.
don't think Muzan's the main villain of the show?
No, I do. I definitely think someone's pulling the strings over him.
Really?
He has to be like, dude, someone like we have to get
You
to
think
the.
someone gave
Dude,
Muzan the abilities?
I think for at some point somewhere we're gonna have to get to the bottom of like where did the demons come from?
I think he is the OG demon.
You think he's the original demon?
They are terrified of him, dude. No one comes close.
Maybe he just might be
he
a bad
gives everyone
man
a
to
fraction
jamma.
of his blood, and then they become like the most powerful.
Yeah, he
characters.
might just be a bad dude, man. There might be someone.
That's
I think there's
wild.
someone above him. We've seen
think
we've
there's a
seen him
demon
too
demon?
much. I feel like in the first season,
I
because
don't know.
like
This is a
Tanjiro, like
short series,
think about where we
though.
are. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's really interesting to see where this is gonna go because if Mugen Train told us anything is that Tanjiro is not shit. Like
really,
he
truly
is
isn't.
really like he is pawn scum at this point, like where he is at in his Demon Slayer career, and so the show's not gonna go on that much longer, but he's got a very long way to go.
This show, the way it is going, because everyone says like the manga's short apparently.
And they're actually maybe because they got like time skips and stuff like that. They're
We-
not afraid to do time skips in this show.
We are getting ready for maybe the greatest short anime series of all time. I love this show.
People are talking about this red light district arc that we're gonna see coming up in the next season. So
all the
that'll
characters-
be kind of the big litmus test, I think.
I like that these characters are so well defined, man. They're not blobs. They have flaws, obviously. Like, some of them are very blatant, but gosh, that's what makes the show so good. It's like these characters are consistent, but they grow within themselves, but they're not there yet, right? You don't just become this virtuous person overnight. Like, you got to experience some crazy shit to really have it change within your personality.
I think you see that a lot in newer gen anime too, when in just an understanding of the importance of, you know, having well-rounded characters and having a character, you know, having a certain level of depth to a character to where you can let them act autonomously, you know, and it would still make sense, where, you know, a character's actions would line up with, you know, their set personality traits. And I think we see more and more of that as, you know, these newer anime come out, and we, you know, as an audience kind of, I think it's good that we've developed a greater palette for storytelling, and we demand more from our stories, because we're getting a lot of good stuff now as a result. And I definitely agree. Like, everyone in Demon Slayer has their set kind of, you know, traits, and we expect those things to, you know, power the decisions they make. And they do a good job. And I think everyone is portrayed really accurately, and I think in a really good and faithful way, in a human way.
How do you feel about the train villain, like, in the movie? Did you like it? Because as Professor Geek would say, man, this is the perfect villain, the archetypal. I'm just evil because.
Yeah, he was just evil, bro. He was just straight up evil.
You feel like it was a compelling villain to you? Like, did you really feel against it?
This is where I think we might have an issue with Demon Slayer. Actually, is that like, it's not in a way. I feel like every villain should be endeared to the audience in some way. I think you can have just straight up evil villains, right? But I think in this specific instance, I think they did a fine job. Like, it wasn't too much. I didn't have like serious vitriol for the guy, because I don't think he didn't kill anybody really. Like, nobody died. Nobody died on the train.
Has he ever killed a person, actually?
That's what I'm saying. Like, his whole thing was, wow, they really stopped me. They really stopped me from killing a single person on this train. You know, so I can't really get into rooting for him to die or to be defeated if I don't know what he's capable of, you know.
It's pretty interesting, yeah, because they introduced him late in the.
That's not a fully, and it's not like a fully fleshed out thought.
Season finale, and then he was on board to.
And I mean, that's fine. They can kind of, these are set him up, knock him down villains and it's still the first season of the show. So I don't think that it's every single encounter that Tanjiro has needs to fuel the greater story. There's some things where he can learn lessons, and I think this is we're definitely going to be able to look back on the events of this show and you know, trace out where Tanjiro goes, you know, from here based on the events.
I think that the villain actually served pretty much primarily as part of power scaling, where it's this person's a part of the upper echelon, but they ain't a part of the. This person is still pretty a lackey.
He's on that Muzan blood.
He ain't in the top 10 or the top 5 of the crew, or whatever that means. And then you bring in number 3, who, you know, says themselves that they've been around for a very long time, essentially just trying to get stronger.
And he's smoked a lot of Hashira, I think,
in his time.
Yeah, I think.
But it's cool, right? Because Rengoku has been around. I don't know, a kid probably like 18. I don't know how old they're supposed to be.
It's like a young man.
Yeah, and that he's trained a long time. He's like this very special character. It's kind of hard to understand, because I think it kind of is based on the reaction that you see from the fellow swordsmen. And like, it's hard to tell how powerful Rengoku was, right? Because if he was the most powerful swordsman, that'd be a big problem. That'd be really bad.
That's an issue. If Rengoku was legitimately the strongest Hashira, and he got smoked by their third guy down, pretty much. That's an issue. That's an issue for the Demon Slayers.
As I looked at their reactions, I saw
sad, I mean,
but none of them look, oh shit, like we are screwed.
It makes sense, because it's like Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu are all really enamored by Rengoku because they're rookies. Like, they don't know shit. And so seeing someone who is experienced and made it to the top, regardless if he's actually the singular best, he's probably not the singular best swordsman in the Demon Slayers. We haven't met most of the other Hashira, and so, or at least like spent a legitimate amount of time with them. And I think in this red light arc we will be. So we'll get to kind of see where Rengoku really lied in that power structure, which will have really big implications for you know, their, you know, the coming conflict with the demons, because if Rengoku was legitimately one of the strongest demon slayers, that's an issue. That is a very big problem.
It's kind of crazy, right? The show apparently isn't going to go on much longer. Who knows? I mean, it could probably go on.
The anime's over. I don't know. Like you're always in that zone where they're like, this is making a lot of money, so they might just kind of
drag it out a little bit.
Yeah, they might.
But there's so many characters we truly haven't been introduced. There's like 10 other
I'm sure, and it's not like I don't think it's going to be like one more season and then we're done.
No, I don't think so.
Like we'll probably get like 2 or 3 more seasons of this show, but yeah, if we get like 5 seasons of Demon Slayer and they're all just straight gasoline, yeah, we might have to have a conversation.
Yeah, going back to the movie, I don't really think it just really flows into each other. So it's kind of hard to be, this doesn't feel right, or as I'm watching, I really do just feel like it's an extended episode, and I love that about the show.
I really do hope other studios take note of that, because this movie's really popular, both obviously in Japan, but also in the States, because it's canon, dude. If that's not canon, like I told you, if that's not canon, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Goku just comes back in season 2 and it's just like, "What's up, guys?"
They just wake up and he's right there. So yeah, like, if that's not canon, I don't know what they're gonna do. So I think a lot of what was a big draw for the film was that you get to see what happens next, and I would love to if so. Oh, along the lines of anime movies, we got our Dragon Ball movie coming out next year. So we just got Broly, right? That was the last piece of Dragon Ball content.
That was canon, obviously.
And that was canon, or at least like it mentioned, or at least it considered anything that they say that anything Toriyama works on himself is canon. So I think that would fall into it. But we have the Moro arc of Dragon Ball Super. That's the manga only. That was the manga only arc. That was the first manga only arc for Dragon Ball Super. Do we think that could be like we could see the Moro arc get kicked off in a movie, and then like that be, because essentially that's what happened with Super. We kicked it off in the movie.
Right, it set the stage for it. So
or you had Battle of Gods, and then you had Resurrection F.
I don't think they're going to go down the same path, really, where they
series.
make this movie and it's like canon, and then they redo it in the show. I think they.
I don't think there's. We've veered into Dragon Ball now. We can talk about Dragon Ball for a little bit, but yeah, I think they got to know at least. Like people were really upset with those anime episodes, those Resurrection F and Battle of God episodes of Dragon Ball Super. So I think if we're seeing the new canonization of anime movies, I want that Dragon Ball movie to kick off the Moro arc, and I want that to kind of segue into like once we get the Super series back up, just pick up where that movie left off. Or at least, even if it's not the Moro arc, if you're bringing back the Super series, pick it up from wherever the movie leaves off, because there is going to be a movie next year.
Yeah, we knew we knew that Super wasn't the end of the story. They were just like, we're going to take a break because we're pretty exhausted. They had those guys working like
they were getting crunched crazy. Like I feel like not a lot of people will talk about it. Not a lot of people talk about Super in general outside of the core.
Do we ever respect artists in any anime industry?
No, not even a little bit.
We just view them as slaves, as our
No.
for a voyage, like we have to consume this content. We can never give them breaks.
Dude, all the people Attack on Titan ended a couple weeks ago, and people were telling Toriyama to K-word himself. So it's like, there's no respect whatsoever.
We should cut off anime right now, dude. In like
we should just stop it.
We need a year break.
Everyone goes on timeout.
Everyone needs to learn how to live without it and then have it come back. It's insane. I love anime, obviously, but man, this relationship. We'll go back to the movie just real quick, and we'll kind of finish this discussion. We can talk more about that kind of stuff on a different Anime Monday. Where do you think the story goes from here? Like, legitimately, like
for Demon Slayer,
Demon Slayer.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm really excited for Tanjiro, because I think that the way Tanjiro has responded to the events that have happened in his life have kind of, I don't know, he's been very reactionary to him. And I'm excited to kind of see Tanjiro take control of the situation at hand, because it's like, okay, and it's not bad to be a reactionary character. Sometimes the events of the show are bigger than any singular character, and that's fine. And so, but I'm excited for Tanjiro to start taking more and more control and becoming more and more powerful, because he's a really virtuous and aspirational hero. And this is what Professor Geek, bro. Watch Demon Slayer, man.
He would love that.
I know you're out there, dude.
This is the thing where Tanjiro, I think he understood that he wasn't very powerful in the grand scheme of things, but he didn't know what that meant. You can't know what your difference in power is until you see it. We saw that episode of One Piece. I watched that special where the sword dude, I don't know his name. Zoro is like, hey, I'm going to challenge the greatest swordsman of all time.
And he gets his ass kicked.
And he gets his ass beat. But now that Zoro is like, okay, this is how fast I need to be. This is how powerful I need to be to get up to that level. And maybe Tanjiro will take that information and understand the training.
It's very interesting because Tanjiro is not prideful, and usually the lesson, how you teach a prideful character is by having them be confident in themselves and then get their ass beat. But Tanjiro is smart and can pick his battles. He knows when he is outmatched. So I think taking away someone like Rengoku from him, who he saw like, this guy could make me stronger, this guy could provide answers for me, that I've been seeking, and taking that away from him, I think that's going to be I think it's a really creative way to motivate the character, and two, I think it's going to end up benefiting him long term, just because Tanjiro is already such a well-written and strong character in and of itself, and that you believe that he's a really good person, and you believe all of the things that you're supposed to that strengthen the character.
Yeah, so I'm super stoked for the next season of Demon Slayer. It's one of my favorite anime for sure going on right now. But let us know what you guys thought about the movie in the comment section down below.
Next week, man, it's happening. The Court of Spencer, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Ooh, man, we need to do a movie Monday on the Snyderverse, by the way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But yes,
we'll
Spencer's been ducking the Jujutsu Kaisen smoke for a hot minute now, and I'm pressing the issue. So next time,
I'll finish the first.
Next time we have an Anime Monday, we're talking Jujutsu Kaisen, folks.
Yeah, be sure to look at some of our other videos out this week. I'm doing a bunch of combo tutorials for a lot of the new support that's coming out. I already did the Speedroid. I'm doing Utopia stuff. I'll probably do some Cyber Dark nonsense because that structure deck's getting ready to come out. So just, check out the YouTube channel. We usually have something different going on every day. But other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and we will see you guys next time.